clay here that I'll throw something that's right against the wheel head. I'm going to start by getting rid of the clay that's left against the wheel head so that I can pull right against the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and center this again too. So to open up clay that I'm throwing that's not off the hump, it's a little bit different because of the size. I'm really into ergonomics. What I don't want to do is cause myself any injury or strain myself so that I can throw, and not be hurt at the end of the day. So one of the things that you see beginners do is they have a tendency to squeeze with their fingers, which leave these lines here. When you squeeze with your fingers, you're actually putting a lot more force than you need to because you're using your fingers. If you squeeze with the base of your hand, you're decreasing the length that you have to apply pressure, therefore you have to apply less pressure. So same thing with opening up the clay. I don't want to take my fingers and gouge in like this because I'm applying pressure like that, and it'll eventually hurt your wrist. So I'm going to turn my fingers on their side. I'm going to press down in the middle, get a hole started. That'll be the inside of the pot. I'm going to wet it and I'm going to continue like this. As I open it up, I don't want to drill a hole because the clay can move my fingers around and cause it to go off center. I'm going to push right down in the center, and because of the shape of the pot and the way I'm holding my fingers, it'll always push it in the middle and won't go off center. So I know I'm about a quarter of an inch, third of an inch from the bottom, so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to wet it, and I'm going to move across. So again, I'm taking my fingers and I'm applying the pressure with this way, so that, because they don't bend this way very well, so I'm going to push with my other hand. Start in the center, move out towards 3 o'clock. This will be the bottom of the pot. I'm going to wet it. Now the next step is, I don't know if it's common, but some people use a sponge. I happen to use what I call in my classes a crampy finger. So I'll take my finger, I'm going to cramp it up so I have a little section like this. This is where I'm going to apply pressure on the outside of the clay. On the inside, I'm going to use the C is for cookie. So I've got a C. That goes on the inside of the pot and presses at the base. This presses at the base on the outside. I'm going to squeeze them together. As I squeeze together, I'm going to move up. It's important that I release the pressure as I move up so that I don't twist it to cause the clay twist and I don't rip the top off. So I'm going to squeeze together and move up. As I move up, I release the pressure. Go back, compress the rim, wet it inside and out, top to bottom, and start again. Squeeze and move up. As I get towards the top, I'm going to release the pressure and let go. Collar it in. And pull again at the bottom. This is so that I get the whole pot as thin as I'd like it, so that later on I don't have to trim as much. So now I've got my wooden knife. So now it's a pretty even thickness. Set up like a pencil. I'm going to press down against the wheel head. This is going to cut off the skirt. I'm going to hold it again like a snowplow. I'm going to go through the top and that'll cut this stuff off. Take my flexible metal rib of death. I'm going to start at the bottom. On the inside I'm going to wet it, and then I'm going to press out. This will make the belly of the pot. So start at the base and press out. This will give it the majority of its shape. I may trim a little bit more so I get a smaller foot, but this is where this is where I get most of the shape from. Get some of the water out of the bottom before I collar it in. I'm going to squeeze the top together and narrow the neck up. Go back in, compress it, pull up, collar in, and as I collar in, I'm moving my hand up so that it doesn't collapse on itself, because right now it's pretty thin at the top. Get the top off. Go back in with my flexible metal rib of death so I can compress the shoulder, make it the shape that I want. lift this neck up and bring it out. So I'm going to cut this one in half so you can see how thin it is. So it's got an even thickness of wall from the top to the bottom. It's got a little bit of thickness here where I'll eventually trim my foot.